This new Ebola czar we were talking about, and again, it's a big story today with the president making the appointment. Is this the answer we really need? Let's talk to a medical professional about that. Dr. Sreedhar Potarazu joins us. One of the parts, Dr. P, would be you'd say, hey, there's too many cooks in the kitchen here. We have the CDC director, the acting surgeon general, we have everybody in the White House itself, and now we have this point person or so-called czar. Do you think it's a good idea?
Having a point person that's going to take absolute leadership is a great idea. I happen to know Ron Klain well, so he is a consummate insider, an excellent manager, and has done well in previous crises. But right now, we need somebody who is a healthcare professional. We need a doctor. We need somebody who understands and can instill confidence in the American public about understanding what the whole disease spectrum is, and somebody who's got leadership and management experience. Because what the public needs right now is somebody to take charge who knows exactly what they're talking about. We don't need a bureaucrat.
It seems so you know Ron Klain. I mean, he's a former, as we said earlier, he's a former chief of staff to 2 vice presidents. So you know him. You were somewhat complimentary of his management skills. So it's a guy who maybe knows how to manage a staff of people. He's done that before. He knows how Washington works. So
sure,
he would be qualified there. But by a doctor like you saying we need a doctor in this position, it seems to be taking a shot at the current CDC director and Dr. Tom Frieden and saying he's not getting it done. Is that me reading too much into it, or is that what you think?
No, that's what I think. It's a 3-ring circus between the CDC and the NIH. You know, they're butting heads against each other, and you've got many other constituents here. And the fact of the matter is that the CDC has already blown it. So no matter what they say right now, they've lost the confidence in terms of all of the things that they've changed in the last week in terms of the execution and or the parameters. And the unfortunate part of the matter is that in general, doctors don't tend to be great public communicators. And that is an extremely important skill right now in terms of being able to understand the problem and being able to communicate that to the public.
Well, maybe that's why they went for a political guy. You know, maybe that's your argument, is that a doctor needs to look at the medicine behind it, and the political guy is going to be able to communicate it. I'm just saying maybe would be an argument for Klain, though, wouldn't it?
That would be an argument for Klain, but I think the bigger argument is we need a real Surgeon General. Scrap this nomination, Vivek Murthy, which nobody really wants, and let's find somebody else that can fulfill that role.
The Democrats say, the Republicans need to stop their opposition to this Surgeon General nominee over something like gun control and let the nomination go through. And you say, nah, let's just get a completely different nominee.
I agree. We don't need a poster child for Obamacare. We're beyond that. We need somebody right now who has the experience in leadership, management, communication, who's going to take charge and is actually going to be able to do the collaboration that's necessary right now. We haven't had the likes of a Surgeon General like C. Everett Koop in ages. I mean, nobody even knows, for the most part, who the acting Surgeon General is.
Well, let me ask you a medical question. But let me ask you, just before we wrap it up, let me ask you a medical question before we wrap up the discussion, and that would be, acknowledging that we've made mistakes, and you've outlined what some of them are, and I think a lot of people would acknowledge that there has been mistakes made in this country in the response to the Ebola cases that have had to be dealt with. Acknowledging all of that, do you think the country's at great risk for some sort of an outbreak or something like that? Even though we've made mistakes, I mean, we still will be able to get this under control, won't we? Or will we?
I don't think we know enough right now in terms of the magnitude of what that outbreak is going to be. I think the biggest risk right now is that hospitals are not adequately prepared. There's no systematic framework in terms of instructing every hospital in the country and every healthcare professional in terms of what they're supposed to do, and clear criteria for the lay public in terms of what they're supposed to look out for. That communication needs to be coming from the top. That's not Ron Klain who's going to be delivering that message, because it's not credible. We don't need an attorney telling us how to diagnose Ebola or what to look out for. We need a doctor in charge to be able to carry that message.
All right, Dr. Potarazu, it's nice to see you again. Thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate it.